Hi, it's Marilyn Devonish here from transformationstm.com, and I've got a few things to share with you in this update as the month draws to a close. So a couple of price increase notifications. We've got the PhotoReading flash sale that is going on at the moment. That's for PhotoReading 2020. What else have we got? Yes, we've got the Huna and PhotoReading update from the TCCHE event that I was emceeing at last weekend. And I'm also going to share with you a little bit about the reason why I am so passionate about the thing we're about to talk about, which is PhotoReading and the combination of Huna. So let us begin. Where shall we begin? Let's start, actually, let's just start with this one. Yes. I want to start with this one, actually, because I've realized that there's a PhotoReading home study course that you can purchase. Now, it comes from Learning Strategies Corporation, and I've realized that Learning Strategies are, and quite rightly too, I think it's actually a very good price. They're selling the PhotoReading home study CD course for $530. I have actually been selling it for £330, which is about $402. So way under market price. So in the coming week, I probably haven't got time to do it this week, but definitely in the coming week, I'm going to have to increase my price to be in alignment with them. So that is just a little bit of a heads up if you have been thinking about doing the PhotoReading home study course. And in terms of what's included in that, it's now on CDs. When I first did the course, it was actually tape cassettes. It's now, of course, CDs. You get the PhotoReading book as well. You get the Natural Brilliance. You get the playbook. You get a couple of paraliminal CDs. You get the dictionary, so you can play the dictionary game and stuff about your genius potential. So that's in the package that you get. You have the option of doing it as a digital download. So you have an online digital library. You also have the option of having it shipped to you. And also, one of the things that has changed since I last updated the prices on my website, the shipping has gone from what was literally a couple of pounds, it's $150 now, to DHL something over. And there are other options if you wanted to do kind of surface mail or US mail. So all of that has to be updated and overhauled. So that's coming in the coming week. If you have been thinking about doing the PhotoReading home study course, and you've got Dr. Paul Sheely taking you through that, but the prices are going to have to go up because I've been, mega financing it. I think the last time I probably updated those prices, if I'm perfectly honest, is probably something like 2010. It's ridiculous. So that's going to be coming up in the coming week if you wanted to get that before the price goes up. So that's on my regular website, www.transformationstm.com/PhotoReading. That's if you are you're interested in that. There is also, actually, let me just do one thing so you can see a little bit more of that. There's also I've got a PhotoReading flash sale happening at the moment. So at the time I took this screenshot, there were 3 days, 2 hours, 52 minutes and 27 seconds remaining. That's obviously different now because I did this a couple of hours ago. But I'm doing a PhotoReading flash sale for the 2020 workshop. The reason you all get a ridiculously good price, because it's $748 to do the PhotoReading workshop. Normally, if you're booking for the flash sale, it's $497. The reason being that you get to sort of book early. What that does, it gives me a really good idea of numbers, and so it's kind of a win-win. I will get a bit of certainty about it in terms of, because the hotel have changed their hotel policy as well for booking in advance, etc., etc. And so I was like, right, how can I make my life easier and still be able to schedule stuff in with certainty? And so I thought, you know what, let's do something special for people who are happy to book early. And for the privilege of booking early, you get a super price. So it's kind of one of those things if you wanted to do that. And I guess one of the things that often brings people to PhotoReading is having piles of books that they want to get through. I know I have, people who are doing a lot of research. One of the obvious candidates are students. And I had a really interesting time at the Conference for Consciousness and Human Evolution called the TCCHE. What you can see on the screen there is a portion of the bookstall. And I was the host and the MC for the event. So you've got people like Dr. Joe Dispenza speaking, Greg Braden, Lynn McTaggart, William Henry from Ancient Aliens, Ulrika Granoga, who's a physicist and a scientist and does a lot of work with the Keys of Enoch. Pim Van Lommel, who was talking about near-death experiences, that was fascinating. Curtis Childs, who is from the Swedenborg Foundation. And the wonderful thing about all of these people is they've all written books, and like Joe and Greg have written tons of books. And so what I decided to do at that event, if you were there, you would have seen that, is I was just getting the books off the stage while the speaker was speaking, and I was just sitting and photo reading their books. And then I go on stage and I did a little synopsis about what I had read, because if an author's got like 7 or 8 books on the table, sometimes it's a case of, oh my God, where do I start? And I don't even know where to begin. And people don't always want to have the time, because actually some of the breaks are quite tight. And so I decided then I would photo read the books while the speaker was speaking, and then go up on stage and do a mini summary. And what started to happen was the books that I had reviewed just started selling out, which was very cool. And so there are many, many wonderful ways that you can use this skill, but it was really nice to be able to do that for people so they could get a sense of, okay, this is what I'm looking for. Which of these 5 or 6 books would be a good starting point, and what would you recommend for this, what would you recommend for that? So that was a nice fun way to do it. And I would definitely say it then gives you the ability to go into your local bookstore, if you still have a physical bookstore, and just very quickly start extracting and pulling out the information that you need. So that was a really fun thing to do. We also had this is from I think this is the second year that I spoke, I think. And this year I did probably a minute and a half of Huna at the TCCHE, if that, and had exactly the same thing that happened in the previous 2 years. There was, people just coming up the whole time. Oh my God, when you did this happened. As somebody who said she'd had stomach cramps for the whole, time that she'd been there. And within a minute of me doing Huna, the stomach cramps disappeared. Somebody else who said, he'd been up since 2 a.m. to get his flight to fly in. He got to the hotel. They said he couldn't check in till 2 p.m. So he dragged his suitcase around London, went to all the museums. But by the time he got back to the conference, he was just not in a good state, and said he'd been falling asleep all morning, falling asleep all afternoon. And after I'd done the Huna, he was just buzzing. And this was on the Saturday I did it. He was still buzzing on the Sunday. He was still buzzing on the Monday. So that was really fantastic. I had one of the volunteers saying when I did it the year before, she had pains in her shoulders, and within a few minutes of me doing the Huna, the pain had just lifted and disappeared. And she said every time she thought about the Huna, she had the same thing happen, up to 8 months later. So I always talk about, in my trainings, the wonderful ripple effect of the Huna in terms of making those changes. And what you can see on screen, the writing might be a bit small if you're on a device, but one of the people from the year this was taken says, thank you so much for everything, the Huna, and how beautifully you held the energy in the room. Someone else was saying, I attended the 4-day TCCHE event a couple of weeks ago, because people were emailing me weeks after the event, and she said, although I found the speakers fascinating, your Huna work had the most profound effect on me. Somebody else was saying, because I was getting stopped everywhere, this year was the same, including the ladies' toilets. So someone else was saying, I did speak to you in the ladies, and I explained how I felt the energy around me and a sense of calm. But since that time, I'm quite amazed at what has happened, because the Huna continued to work for people several weeks and several months after they walked out of that training room, and we literally only did a couple of minutes. And so for those of you who attending the in-person workshop, either the final one that I'm running in September, that's the 20th to the 22nd of September, or if you're going to come for the 2020 and take up the opportunity of the flash sale, we do a bonus Huna session on the Friday evening, because it is such a good way to shift and transform your energy And we specifically are using it to change and transform the beliefs that might get in the way of you being able to believe that you can read at 25,000 words a minute and that you can photo read. So the Huna is an integral part of that, and you'll experience that if you're coming along to join us for the workshop. Now, people often ask me, how did I get into photo reading? There's a conversation I had a lot over the past weekend at the event. And it wasn't something I was seeking out. I was just in a place of desperation, because when I was in my 20s, I was diagnosed with what was thought to be, and it kind of presented as early onset Alzheimer's. My doctor says, nothing else I can do for you. And I was in a state of real distress because I was studying to be a chartered accountant at that time. And I said, the only thing I can do for you is give you a medical certificate that I can send to the ACCA, and let's see if they can give you extra time in your exams to just help you maybe get your thoughts together, get your brain in gear, etc. So what you can see on the screen is the letter from the ACCA to me confirming they have received my medical details, that they have that information on file, and confirming that I will be awarded a bit of extra time in the exam. So, because I know people really go, really? And not everybody means it really as in you're pulling my leg, but I know I've had a couple of people go, really? So yeah, really? And that's the letter from the ACCA for those who are a little bit skeptical when I tell them that story. Because of course, when they see me on stage and when they hear me doing webinars and teleseminars and Facebook Lives, I'm not speaking like a person who was thought to have early onset Alzheimer's. So that is one of the reasons why I'm absolutely, passionate about photo reading. So when I say it's a game changer, when I say it's life changing, I don't say that lightly, and I don't say that for marketing spiel reasons. I say it because it's true. And not only has it been true for me, it has also been true for many of my clients. Things like dyslexia, dyspraxia that people have struggled with for years, have struggled with their whole lives. They completely forget they've got the problem by the time we get into normally just the first day. They're just like completely on it. You maybe have heard me talk about Kay with the brain damage. She was in a plane crash 7 years prior. Within 2.5 days, that had completely transformed and turned around. I've had people with brain inflammation. I've had someone with autism who said she often doesn't go to trainings because she just can't cope, and she has to ask the trainer to speak very slowly. None of that was evident on the photo reading. We had no idea she even had any medical conditions until she told us about 2 hours before we finished on the Sunday. And we were like, are you kidding? We actually thought she was making it up. We're like, are you serious? She's like, yeah. She said, this is just amazing. Because she said often when she goes to a training, she has little cards and she has to hold them up to the trainer. And the first card says, please speak more slowly. And if the trainer doesn't slow down, the second card said, please use 6 to 8 words per sentence. And I talked 10 to the dozen. And she didn't need the cards. She was absolutely fine in the training environment. And so photo reading is miraculous in terms of the things that I have seen it do over the years. And often people ask about accuracy. So this is some feedback from a team of rocket scientists at Cranfield University. I went out there and I designed a bespoke course for them. And when I arrived, and I'm going around the room saying, why are you here? What would you most like to get from the training, and what role are you in, just so I could get a sense of where do we put a bit more emphasis. When the first person said they were a rocket scientist, I actually thought they were pulling my leg a little bit and messing with the new girl. And then the second one said, I'm also a rocket scientist and a physicist and da 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 da. And of the 15 or so people in the room, nearly all of them were rocket scientists. And so these people know how to study and they know what good looks like. And the feedback from them included, going through their feedback forms and just pulling out some of their comments: stimulating, valuable, highly recommended, professional, excellent, enlightening, fun, relaxing, motivating, time well spent, should be given to all first year PhD students. And these people know their stuff. So you're not going to be pulling the wool over their eyes with a little bit of hand waving and all the rest of it. So people are always number one, they're very surprised. that in terms of the reading and dealing with stress, dealing with overwhelm, and because often, you know, we're talking about in the corporate context here, and they were really surprised that they could have fun and feel so relaxed and have an enlightening experience, and something that they could take back to the office and actually put into practice and apply back at their desk. So that's always amazing. And this one is one of my favorite quotes: ignore the 20% off. That's, you know, well, actually you don't need to ignore the 20% off. If you're doing the flash sale, it's more like 30%, but in terms of the September workshop, the early booking prices have expired. But this guy was into software and IT, and he was so matter of fact. He's just like, best personal development course I've ever attended, hands down, and then just walked off. And I'm like, that's very cool. So even when people come with a bit, I'm not sure about this, you know, it really does have quite a dramatic effect on people. So yeah, if it's something that is of interest to you, then let me know. Actually, don't even bother to let me know, just go to the page and book your place. With regards to the flash sale, there is a countdown on the page. Should be able to let me find that. So yeah, there's a countdown on the page. It's a Thrivecart page. It's like Thrivecart/photo-reading-live-workshop-flash sale, blah blah blah. So I will drop that into the comments. So that link is there, so check that one out. If you want to come to the photo reading workshop itself in September, then I'd say best thing now is to go to my main website. The reason I say that, I have got an Eventbrite page. However, there's an Eventbrite fee to pay. If you're just paying through my regular website, which is transformationstm.com/photo reading, then it just goes straight via PayPal. So I will pay the fees rather than you. But if you wanted information about the venue and the dates, then it's www.secretofphotoreading.eventbrite.com. And if you have any questions or queries, then it's Marilyn, MARILYN, at transformationstm.com. So if you happen to be watching this rather than listening to an audio or a podcast, then the spelling of that is on the screen. Also, with regards to the flash sale, I've written a whole blog about it. I'll add the blog to that as well in terms of the rationale for doing that, rather than, you know, taking up time explaining that here. But that's I'll put the blog in for that. But yeah, if you've got any questions, if you've got any queries, drop me an email and I will be happy to answer. And also, talking of books and TCCHE, I did say when I did the podcast with Greg Braden back in January, which seems like forever now, that I said I would get a signed copy of his book. So there you go. So what I will do, one of you will be the proud owner of said book. So if you signed up for the podcast, for the interview that I did with Greg, and you took part in that, then I'll be picking a name out of the hat and sending you a signed copy. What you might notice, because we were talking about Human by Design, what you might notice is the book has had a name change, but it's still the same information and content. So it might look a little bit different to what you saw me do in the promo, but that's the kind of current version. So that's been signed by Greg Braden. So I will be sending that out to someone as well sometime next month. So keep an eye on your email inbox if you joined us for the workshop. And when I was there with Greg this weekend, he said again, Marilyn, when are we doing another interview? And so I don't need to be told twice, because Greg is ridiculously busy. If you have seen Greg Braden's schedule, it is just crazy. But you know, because you know, sometimes somebody says, oh, when we must do that again, you think they're being polite. He said it because I had I had an hour with him for the interview that we did. We were getting up to the end of the hour, so I was just getting ready to wrap up, and Greg said, do you have a bit more time? And I was like, yeah. He says, well, hey, why don't we go for a bit longer, because my next interview isn't for another, half an hour. So we went for longer, and then at the end of it, Greg said, this was amazing, I loved it, can we do another interview? Let's call this part one. And me kind of knowing how busy Greg is, my schedule was a little bit busy as well, but that's no excuse. I actually didn't chase him for another interview. I didn't go back and say, come on, let's do another one. But he'd said to me this weekend again, when are we doing another interview? So I will definitely be scheduling another interview with Greg. I'm going to have a think about where we want to focus and what we want to do. Probably do similar to what I did last time, is also get some questions from people on my e-newsletter list, because we went through those questions on the interview, and so that's where I'll be choosing the winner from. So that will be coming up as well. And if you're a photo reader and you happen to win this, then have fun photo reading it. Regular size book, that one will probably take you 5 or 6 minutes to photo read from start to finish. So somebody will be the lucky recipient of that. So yeah, that's it. And if you're watching this in real time, it's been about 5 months since I've done the big clearing call, the Huna and Tarot big clearing call. So I'm going to be running one of those on, it's what day is that? I think it's Tuesday, is it Tuesday the 3rd of September? I've just put that out for my e-newsletter list this morning. Oh no, actually I'm going to do it on Monday the 2nd. That was it. I was going to do it on Tuesday, but that's Tarot Tuesday for my membership group, so I thought I'd leave a bit of space. So Monday the 2nd of September, if you're watching this in real time, 6:30 p.m. UK time, we're going to do the Tarot and Huna big clearing call, which is I will do individual tarot readings for people. I will also do some Huna energy clearing based on kind of what comes up in the reading. So you can attend that live. If you can't make it live, I'll still do the reading for you, and you'll be able to get the replay recording. So what is that one? That's www.thebigclearingcall.eventbrite.com. if you want to join us for that. What I'll also do after this is I'll put the link into the video description as well. Yes, I think those are the key things coming up. So photo reading flash sale ends this month. Photo reading workshop is next month. Oh, I'm running a one-day workshop on Saturday the 14th of September as well, if you want to come along to that one. We're looking at, on that one, we're covering kind of tips and techniques for kind of motivation, what I would prefer to call inspiration. We're going to do some Tarot Tuesday readings for people who are there in the room. We're going to be going through, haven't decided which aspects of Wisdom Wednesday we're going to be focusing on, but I'm going to be choosing something from the Wisdom Wednesday and putting some additional practicality and coaching exercises around that. We're going to do the Think Tank Thursday piece, which is the kind of Ask Anything segment. We have got some stuff to help you focus as we go into the final quarter of the year. We are going to do, with the Sharing Saturday piece, I've got a few ideas, but we'll be expanding on that at the workshop in terms of what people find most beneficial, in terms of processes, maybe clearing exercises, whatever it might be. And we're also going to do something for the soul. So that is on Saturday the 14th of September. That's of next month, if you want to come along and join us. So what I'll do is I'll just drop all the links for that into the description of this video, and if you're watching on YouTube, then it will be in the description below. So that's a wrap up of what we have got coming up in the next couple of weeks. So the countdown is on if you want to join us for Photo Reading 2020. And if you know anyone who would benefit, then feel free to share this video. That would be fantastic. And also, as we started with the Photo Reading Home Study CD course, I need to bring myself up into 2019 pricing rather than the 2010 prices. So just a reminder that the price increase for that, it will be coming very soon. Once I've cleared the backlog and finished the course that I'm in the middle of doing, I'll give that a bit of attention next week. But that is coming up, just to now bring it into alignment with what Learning Strategies are doing. That will be going up by $100 or so for the digital download, and maybe $250 depending on where you are in the world and how you want the product shipped to you. So that's it, really. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've all had a brilliant week and bank holiday weekend. We've just come out of that. I've been totally offline. The TCCHE is full on when I'm there, so I'm just having a little bit of a quick catch up. So I thought I'd do a roundup of what's happening, what's coming to an end, what's available at the moment. So thank you for watching. Catch you all later. And if I'm seeing you in the next couple of weeks, that'll be fabulous. And for those of you on my e-newsletter list, I'm going to be testing out a few funnels over the next couple of days and the weekend. So if you've got a few minutes, please look out for that, because I'd love your feedback as those are coming on stream as well. So thank you for watching. I will catch you all later. Marilyn Devonish from transformationstm.com, over and out.